Another arrest for the University of Georgia, and it comes just days after Kirby Smart called his fan base out and said that they didn't have much of a home field advantage against the who did they play last week?
Auburn.
Auburn.
One of the oldest rivalries in history.
Yeah, didn't have much of a home field advantage. So somewhere Eric Ainge may be celebrating, but they're going to have a home field advantage for any team that challenges them. I thought it was pretty egotistical by Kirby Smart to call out his fans, given the fact that any of his fans at any moment in time could be killed by one of the players driving around like an idiot.
Yeah, and I shouldn't laugh at that, but that's literally the truth, isn't it?
I mean seriously. It can't be that far removed. There have to be some fans that go to Georgia Stadium, they go to Sanford Stadium on a weekly basis and know that, hey, these guys are driving around like idiots.
And here's what Kirby Smart had to say about that Georgia win.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great victory for Georgia. Tell you what, it was hot out there today, Shock. And if anything, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed. And I'm probably disappointed in our fans for the first time that I thought there was, a lack of really affecting the game, crowd noise-wise, passion and energy. And, hey, it was hot, but our players got full pads on, helmets, pads, and it's hot out there. And they're pushing, trying to have a home field advantage like we've had when we've played against teams. And I can't get crowd noise.
Okay.
And then just want to give
I want to start with that. I've got an issue with that, especially when your house isn't in order off the field and fans could potentially get killed by one of your players who are driving like an idiot. So I think and I believe this firmly, your house needs to be 110% in order before you call out the fans. And this, to me, I don't know, just came across as really catty. I can't think of a better word, but I just thought it was tacky. I mean, the fans are out there having a heat stroke, and the fans have supported you. It's not like it wasn't a sellout. I mean, that to me was pretty lowbrow, in my opinion. I'm sure there have been other coaches that have done that. I can't remember.
Fan complacency can get a problem when a team is winning a lot. We know that. Remember Tennessee in the Fiesta Bowl after the 99 season, they barely showed up. Nebraska filled that stadium. And then Tennessee fans complained about not getting a BCS invite 2 years later when they were 10-2. And it's like, well, you guys didn't even bother to show up for the Fiesta Bowl. Why do you think you're going to get a BCS invite this time? And that is a real thing. I'm with you, though. It's on you to give the fans something to continue to entertain themselves with. And quite honestly, I don't know what Kirby Smart expects. It was, you just lost to Alabama in a way that you shouldn't have, and then you're playing a bad Auburn team at noon the next week. I don't blame him at all. And then just to get to the point, Georgia has had 2 years worth of arrest, and Kirby Smart has really been pretending like it's not a big issue. He's been acting like, oh, this. I mean, and by the way, they are isolated incidents, but they just happen to keep happening, and they're now getting worse.
They're not isolated anymore.
They're not. So Georgia football player Colbie Young, 2 days after he said that, after Kirby Smart said that, was arrested and charged with assault on an unborn child and battery, which sounds like he hit a pregnant woman, right? Or got physical with a pregnant woman. At what point do you, Kirby Smart, say, I just got to be honest, how are you going to call out the fans and your players are getting arrested constantly? You're right. People's lives in Athens are at risk because these guys driving crazy all the time. And now you got your players now getting more serious crimes. You can't sit there and tell fans, guys, our players have no issues. There's nothing wrong with the program. Everything's great. We got great culture, when we see all these arrests. And then all these arrests happen. And then you say, well, why aren't the fans coming to the game? That's just stupid.
Agreed. 20,000 foot view, though. Let me back up. Okay. Now, this may be a little bit before your time, but do you remember why Steve Spurrier left the University of Florida?
Oh, yeah. He didn't think he was getting his respect enough after a 10-2 season.
And he said similar things to what Kirby Smart just said, calling out the fans. And Caleb, I look back at it and thought, because we think that Steve Spurrier's so premeditated, right? That he was just calling out the fans. I look back at it in retrospect and think it was just an expression of frustration, which led to him leaving. So, does this make you think that Kirby Smart will be more like Steve Spurrier and step away when there's still plenty left in the tank, or he's going to run that baby till the wheels come off like Nick Saban?
I think he's going to run the baby till the wheels come off.
I really don't. And here's why. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think climbing Mount Saban and toppling that was a big thing. I think winning national championships, multiple, was a big thing. And he may have in the back of his mind that he wants to win 7 as many as Nick Saban. But, buddy, that's a long ways away. That's a lot of hours of work. And there's going to be something in the back of your head that says, is this worth it? And he has had some coaches that have had success in the NFL, like Todd Monken. Would he entertain that? I don't know. But the SEC is going to be incredibly difficult. It's going to be pretty much impossible to replicate what Saban has done, no matter how great you are. That's a once in 100 years type of coach, along with Paul Bear Bryant. So I don't think he's going to make a real run at 7. And I think it'll eventually be his choice. So you and I might differ there.
I think the reason it won't be his choice is because I think the reason he won't make that decision is because I don't think he's going to have many options at the pro level. I wouldn't hire Kirby Smart, and that's not because of the discipline or anything like that. Okay, he's a great defensive mind who runs a college football program well. Is that conducive to being successful in the NFL? It's not like he's not. I mean, Dave, I think you would agree with me on this, right? Even at the same age, Kirby Smart's nowhere near the football guru Nick Saban was. Nick Saban probably more than anybody understood every single angle of football. He could have been an offensive coordinator if he wanted to.
Agreed. But I think that Kirby Smart, and part of this is because of what happened to Steve Spurrier. I think Kirby Smart would be a better hire than Steve Spurrier at the time because Spurrier was based on having more talent for the most part, A, and B, he was willing to spread things wide because he knew he could get a quarterback beat up and his offense was so simple you could put somebody else in there. Well, in the NFL, there's usually a big drop-off from Patrick Ramsey to whoever backed up Patrick Ramsey, right? I mean, Patrick Ramsey would have been a good quarterback if he hadn't gotten shell shock.
There's also the third part of this, which is that unlike Kirby Smart, Steve Spurrier is kind of lazy. He doesn't like to do it. I mean, he literally told his players to hurry up and get a practice play right so he could end practice and go golf, and he had a scheduled golf outing that day. So, I mean, yes, I agree with you on all of that, but I still don't think that, again, I don't think Kirby Smart's as special of a coach. If you were hiring tomorrow, Dave, would you hire Todd Monken or Kirby Smart as an NFL head coach first? I'd hire Todd Monken. Not even think about it, right?
Yeah, but I think you've also got to give Kirby Smart some credit for putting people in the right position.
That's why I said he's a great CEO of a college football program. Just like Dabo Swinney is a great CEO of a college football program. Now, Kirby Smart's more of a defensive guru than Dabo Swinney is. But Nick Saban was a CEO and a guru. Guys, he took over the offense last year. I mean, he's a defensive guy, and he took over the offense and shortened and simplified the playbook for Jalen Milroe against the wishes of the offensive coordinator he hired. I mean,
that's Last Look brought to you by Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn.